Hi, good morning. Well, to me it is. Good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching. Before I get all this plastered, my wife reminded me we need a shower in here. And because the bath is right up against the wall, we're going to have to bury the copper pipes in the brickwork just to get them down past the bath and connect it up with our hot and cold feed. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be channeling out or chasing out a couple of lines down our wall for our copper pipes to fit in. We'll get a couple of elbows welded. We can then get this room replastered. So if you want to put a shower at the end of your bath and you've got no partition wall, all you've got is a brick wall, this is how you're going to have to do it. Enjoy! First thing we're going to need to do is find out centre point of our bath. Measure from edge to edge. So just put a little mark on our wall. Just double check it. It's about right. So now we've got our centre line. We'll get our spirit level on here. Get that nice and straight. Easier said than done on a wonky wall. Then once you've got that straight, that's it. So now that is your centre line. Although this is going to be odd because the edge of our bath is there. So we've got this much of the window. So that is probably going to look a bit off. It's not going to be central to that wall. I don't know whether that's going to look strange or not. We'll find out when we do it. Now you work out where you want the sort of height to your taps to be. I think it's sort of standard about 1.3 meters off of the floor. So we're going to be looking around the middle of this brick. That's close enough. And if you're standing in the bath, you can imagine yourself turning your taps on and off. So we go with that height. Right, and then your standard width of where you need your pipes to come out. Your hot and cold pipes are usually 150 mil apart. So we'll get our centre line on 75 mil, half of 150. So then you know you need one there, and then one over 150. So now we've marked where our pipes need to be. I'm literally going to use the width of this spirit level to channel out. We'll do the same for the other side. These don't have to be as accurate, but right, so there you can see our centre mark and the height we want to go to, and then that's 75 mil either side, so we got 150 across. Doesn't have to be perfectly accurate right now, but you want to try and get your pipes nicely in the centre. Right, so then this is the part we're going to channel out and down there, and again that side. Right, so we're going to do this with our angle grinder. We've got our masonry disc in there. I'm going to need to bury these the full depth of the pipe, so I'm going to need to pretty much use up the whole depth I've got of this cutter to get the pipes all the way in the wall. Obviously, you know, if you're doing this, you'll probably have, you know, your wall plastered, so you can just bury your pipes 2 or 3 mil underneath, bond coat, skim over the top of it. But the trouble I've got with this, I need to go right back to the brick, so I need to make this at least 15 mil deep because I've got no gap behind the bath, not even for plaster. The bath was basically plastered in place, so I have to plaster it back in place. Because there's no space behind the bath, I need these pipes to be at least 15 mil into the wall, plus probably a bit extra because I'm going to protect them with maybe a 22 mil pipe or something else. So for this one, I'm going to get our goggles, going to get our mask on because it's going to be super dusty. I'll probably take you out of here because the camera is getting so much dust in it. It's going to break soon, I think. Then I'll bring you back when we chisel it out, because that hopefully won't be as bad. Right, we've got our lines cut now, all the way down as far as they need to go, to just underneath the bath. We're going to be moving these taps further over into that corner, so the joints will be accessible from downstairs in the kitchen. That way we can just come up, bring the copper pipes over, and then up our walls and also across to the bath waste. That way they'll be a bit more hidden in the corner, because we're leaving the side of the bath open, so they won't be as visible. So now we just get our SDS drill out with our chisel bit and chisel these out. Hopefully we've got the right depth. Just putting a bag over the flexi pipe so no more rubbish goes down in them. Alright, SDS drill with a small chisel bit. Put it on chisel only. Let's knock these out. Now I've had a little tidy up. We've got our bricks cut out. One thing I must point out, these bricks are 100mm thick or 100mm deep. You mustn't go more than a third, so 33mm deep. These are pretty much on the limit. And then I've made up our pipes. So we've got 2 pipes. All I've done, I've wrapped them in some leftover sort of 22mm PEX pipe I had. I just cut down the PEX pipe so I could slot all these on. I've just soldered all these joints with my heat gun. I'll leave a link to the video in the description. I showed you soldering one of these with a heat gun. I didn't film making the whole thing up, because obviously everybody's is going to be different. So they're just going to fit in the wall there, and they're just about going to be under the surface and covered with plaster. So they're going to fit in there great. We've made up a little block now. These holes are exactly 150mm apart, centre to centre. And then I've pre-drilled a couple of holes so I can get this level, screw it onto the wall, and basically that, drilled the holes, the other big holes in it, exactly 15mm. So these pipes fit in there nice and snug. So when we bury this in the wall, this is going to hold it in place while we plaster these pipes in. So when these gets plastered in, these are going to be exactly 150mm apart. Whether you're installing a shop bought shower mixer, they'll fit it. Leave your pipe extra length, because you don't know how far it needs to go into the wall and then how much you're going to need to cut off afterwards. So always just leave a bit of extra length, and this can be cut down afterwards. Right, so we're just going to attach this to the wall, nice and level. Just going to line our holes up with the centre of our chases. Right, so that's level. Right, so that's it. We've got our 2 holes marked now. I'm just going to put my spirit level across there and make sure they are absolutely level.
One more reason why I should stay. 'Cause you got 2 minutes to explain. You better come up with something.
There we go, those pipes are pretty much level in there now. Can you see the bubble? Right, so all I'm going to do now is get some, I'm going to get some bond coat, get these stuck into the walls. Right, I've just taken the PVA mix, that's a 1:5 ratio, and basically, I forgot to press record, but I took this off just so I can get behind the wall. Everything's going to stick to it. Right, so I've just got a few other bits I'm going to be bond coating in here as well, so I'm just going to PVA them up, and then once I've done this we can go and mix some bonding coat up and get them in. So it's not too stiff. You want to be able to try and press it in, sort of just get behind the pipes as well. So that's it, just take a good lump.
You keep talking about your wounded pride, acting like you've been deceived, but you keep treating me like I am not here.
I don't know whether you can see from there. You can see the pipes are just showing through the surface. Obviously that's level with the brick, so we've got plenty now to get a proper bonding coat over this and our skim coat, and they'll be nicely buried. Little update of where we are with this wall. I've been doing a couple of extra bits now. So we've got this connected up, just got some stops on the end of those, and this is what we've ended up with down the bottom. So these are where our pipes come out from the walls. So these are coming down, they're both going into isolation valves. So we've got isolation for the showers, and then we've got our two here for our hot and cold for our bath, also with isolations on them. So then basically this was the part we made up just so we could connect our hot and cold up. So we've got a hot going up to a shower and up to the bath, and then we've got a cold going up to the shower, up to the bath. Both separate isolation, so we can isolate the shower or the bath if we need to. Right, so that's it. Our shower pipes are in the wall, ready for the shower. We've got it connected up down the bottom. There's no leaks. Just soldered all them fittings with a heat gun. Saves a lot of money than going out buying your, what do you call them? Saves you going out buying like a blowtorch and the gas. That can be quite expensive just when you're doing a few fittings. So if you've got a heat gun around that does 600 watts, watch the video on how I soldered these with a heat gun. So that's it. So all the showers in. I mean, doing this bath is a problem. I need to do the floor next. So we're going to get this wall like underneath the bath painted white, and then I'm going to have to lift some of the floorboards up, get one chipboard board down, get some skirting board on, get some vinyl tiles down there, then slide the bath back, and then once I know everything's fine with the bath, I can then plaster it back in. That's the trouble with this bath. Once it's in, it's going to be in and it's not coming out. So I want to make sure all this is accessible. It's got isolation valves everywhere. Make sure all the joints are good. So yeah, so hopefully there's no problems when the bath is plastered in and we can't get it back out. If you want to see what we do with the showering end, I mean, this is ready to put your own hot and cold, a thermostatic mixer or mixer taps on there. But we're going to try and make something up out of copper pipes. So we're going to put some, probably just going to get some like funny little taps for on here, join them up onto one copper pipe, up the wall and then out onto a shower head. So if you want to see how that turns out, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you'll eventually see when we connect this shower up and what we decide we're going to do with it. Yeah, and we'll get the rest of this room plastered, painted, maybe some towels for behind the shower. But I hope you enjoyed watching this. So why not save yourself a load of money and do it yourself. I'll see you in the next one.